The council chamber erupted into chaos. Emperor Thrace slammed his fist against the polished stone table while his advisors shouted over each other. High Commander stood silent near the viewing screen, his scaled face unreadable as he watched the massive ship hanging above their world. The Terran Dreadnought blocked out the stars. It was larger than any vessel the Empire had ever built, dark metal gleaming under the light of their sun. The ship did not move. It did not threaten. It simply existed there, waiting. "How did they get past our defenses?" one minister demanded. "They did not get past anything," said quietly. "They simply appeared. Our sensors detected nothing until that ship was already in orbit." Emperor Thrace turned his cold eyes on the military commander. "Then your sensors are worthless." "My lord, I must advise caution. Earth has been silent for 3 months. Now they send this," gestured to the screen. "Perhaps we should consider their demands." "Demands?" Thrace laughed, the sound harsh and bitter. "One ship makes demands of the entire Empire? I think not." 3 months ago, forces had intercepted a human colony ship near the border territories. 4,000 humans aboard, heading to establish a new settlement. The Empire had seen an opportunity. Humanity was weak, scattered across too many systems. They would never risk war over a few thousand colonists. They had taken the ship, taken the people, and then they had sent a message to Earth. Simple terms: give us 3 systems in the border zone or the colonists die. Earth's government had gone silent. No response came. The assumed humanity was debating, arguing among themselves about whether these lives were worth fighting for. Emperor Thrace had been confident. Humans were soft, he declared. They would surrender the territory. Captain Daniel stood on the bridge of the TDS Vengeance and watched the capital below. His crew worked quietly at their stations. No one spoke unless necessary. They all knew what hung in the balance. "Communication incoming from the planet's surface," Lieutenant Grant reported. "Put it through," said. The changed. Emperor Thrace appeared, his reptilian features twisted in what assumed was contempt. The leader wore elaborate robes that draped across his large frame. "Human Captain," Thrace began, his voice carrying the translator's flat tone. "You have entered space without permission. You will leave immediately or be destroyed." Clasped his hands behind his back. "Emperor Thrace, my name is Captain Daniel of the Terran Defense Ship Vengeance. I am here regarding the 4,000 human colonists you are currently holding hostage." "Hostage?" Thrace smiled, showing rows of sharp teeth. "They are guests of the Empire. Guests who are not free to leave. Guests you used to make demands of Earth," kept his voice level. "I am here with new terms. You have 48 hours to release all colonists unharmed to my custody. If you comply, we will consider this matter a misunderstanding and depart in peace." The Emperor's laughter filled the bridge. Several of his advisors joined in. "You offer us terms? 1 ship against the might of the Empire. Captain, you are either very brave or very stupid." 48 hours, repeated. "After that time expires, there will be consequences." "Consequences?" Thrace leaned forward. "Let me show you consequences, human." The screen switched to a tactical display. Red dots appeared around the Vengeance, dozens of them, then hundreds. 200 warships now surround your vessel," Thrace announced. "The finest ships in the fleet. Each one carries enough firepower to crack a planet's crust, and you sit there alone making demands." He paused. "I will give you 1 chance, Captain. Leave now. Abandon these colonists. Return to Earth and tell your leaders that the Empire does not negotiate with inferiors." Study the tactical display. 200 ships. They had pulled forces from across their territory. It was impressive. It was also exactly what he had expected. Emperor Thrace said calmly, "I appreciate the display. However, my terms stand. 48 hours, release the colonists." "You humans truly are fools." Thrace shook his head. "High Commander, prepare to board that ship. I want these humans taken alive. They will join their colonist friends in our detention centers. Earth will learn what happens when they challenge us." The communication cut off, turned to his crew. "Status report." 207 warships in attack formation, Grant reported. "Multiple cruisers, destroyers, and 3 battleships. They are powering weapons." Shields asked. "Holding at standard levels. Their targeting sensors cannot penetrate our shielding to get a lock." Commander Lisa Moore, the chief engineer, spoke from her station. "Captain, they are attempting to jam our communications. It is not working." "Good," walked to the tactical station. "Sensor analysis of their fleet." Their ships use plasma-based weapons and kinetic missiles. Hull composition is titanium-carbon alloy, similar to what we used 40 years ago. Power systems are fusion-based, efficient but limited. Shielding technology appears to be electromagnetic, second generation at best. Nodded, they had advanced quickly, building an impressive military in just a few centuries. But they had been building in isolation. Earth had been building while competing with a dozen other species across known space. The technological gap was significant. Sir, 3 ships are approaching. Transponders identify them as boarding craft. Let them dock, said. Sir, Grant looked uncertain. Let them dock, Lieutenant. They will not get past the airlock, but it will give them something to do, returned to his command chair. In the meantime, contact Admiral Price. Tell her the situation is developing as planned. The boarding craft attached to the Vengeance's hull watched on internal monitors as soldiers gathered outside the airlock. They cut into the outer door with plasma torches. The metal glowed white-hot but did not yield. They tried explosives next. The door did not move. After 20 minutes, they gave up and retreated to their ships. They seem frustrated, Moore observed. They should be, replied. Their technology cannot even scratch our paint. Captain, Grant interrupted. Ambassador Vincent Cole is transmitting from the planet's surface, priority channel. Put him through. Ambassador Cole appeared on a small screen. The older man looked tired, his hair disheveled. Captain, I have been attempting to negotiate with the... They refuse to even discuss releasing the colonists. I expected as much, said. There is more. Cole's expression darkened. I managed to get access to the detention center. Daniel, they have been torturing them. Interrogations about Earth's defenses, our military capabilities. One child, a girl named Amy, died 2 weeks ago. Medical neglect. Felt ice form in his chest. His hands tightened on the armrests, knuckles white. Around the bridge, he heard his crew's sharp intakes of breath. Document everything, said quietly. Every injury, every death, I want complete records. Already done, transmitting now. Watched as the files came through. Images of bruised faces, broken bones left to heal poorly, children with hollow eyes, and one small body wrapped in cloth because they had not even bothered with a proper burial. Broadcast it, ordered. Sir, Grant asked. All channels, every frequency. I want every on that planet to see what their government has done in their name. Broadcasting now. Stood and faced the showing the planet below. 48 hours, Emperor T-24 hours had passed. The broadcasts continued. Images of tortured colonists played on every screen across Prime. The government tried to shut them down, but the human signal cut through every attempt. Some citizens began gathering in the streets, demanding answers. Others refused to believe what they saw, calling it human propaganda. In the council chamber, the arguments grew louder. The people are turning against us, Minister said. He was younger than most advisors, his scales still bright green rather than the faded of age. We must address this situation. We address nothing, Emperor Thrace snapped. This is a human trick. They manipulate our people with false images. The images are not false. High Commander spoke quietly from his position near the window. I had our intelligence officers verify them. The detention center records match what the humans broadcast. Thrace turned on him. You dare question me? I dare speak truth, met the Emperor's gaze. We took those humans, we tortured them, we let a child die, these are facts. Facts that were necessary, Thrace moved closer. We needed information, we needed to show strength. We showed cruelty, said. There is a difference. On the TDS Vengeance, Captain reviewed reports from his crew. The fleet remained in position, weapons charged but not firing. They were waiting for orders, orders that had not come. The population is dividing, Lieutenant Grant reported. Social media shows 40% now oppose their government's actions, 20% support, the rest are undecided. Keep monitoring, said. What about the fleet? No changes. They maintain formation but have not moved closer. Commander Moore approached with a data pad. Captain, I have analyzed the weapons systems. If they fire on us, our shields will absorb everything they have without dropping below 95% capacity. Let us hope it does not come to that, replied. Any word from Ambassador Cole? He is attempting to reach Minister. Apparently has been helping him access restricted areas. nodded, was young enough to remember when the Empire claimed to value honor and justice. Perhaps he was having second thoughts about what his government had become. On the planet's surface, Ambassador Cole waited in a quiet corridor of the government complex. He had sent the message an hour ago. Either would come or he would not. Footsteps echoed on the stone floor, appeared moving quickly, glancing behind him. Ambassador, you should not be here if the Emperor's guards find you. Minister, thank you for coming. Cole kept his voice low. I need your help again. I need to see the colonists one more time. That is impossible now. Security has tripled since your last visit. There must be a way. Hesitated, his scales shifted color slightly, a sign of stress in his species. Why, you already have evidence of what was done to them. Because they need to know someone is fighting for them, Cole said simply. Because they need hope. Something in his expression changed. He made a decision. Follow me quickly. They moved through back passages, areas used by maintenance workers and lower-level staff. His position gave him access to security codes. He used them carefully, opening doors that should have remained locked. The detention center sat deep underground. Cole descended 3 levels before reaching the main holding area. Guards stood at the entrance but dismissed them with his authority. They left reluctantly, suspicious but obedient. Inside, 4,000 humans lived in cramped conditions. The facility had been designed for 500 prisoners, families huddled together on thin sleeping mats. The air smelled of too many people in too small a space. Children cried. Adults tried to maintain dignity in impossible circumstances. One man stood as Cole entered. He was tall, with hair and sharp eyes that assessed the newcomer quickly. I know you. You are the Earth Ambassador. Vincent Cole, yes, and you are? Gregory Hunt. I was captain of the colony ship before they took us. His jaw tightened. Before they killed my navigator and beat my crew. Captain Hunt, I need you to tell your people something. Cole looked around at the faces watching them. More colonists gathered, hope and fear mixing on their faces. Earth has not forgotten you. Right now, above this planet, a Terran Dreadnought sits in orbit. Captain Daniel gave the 48 hours to release you. That deadline is in 24 hours. Murmurs spread through the crowd. Some people began crying. Others stood, strength returning to their shoulders. Will they really come for us? A woman asked, holding a small child. They already came, Cole said. The Vengeance is the most powerful warship Earth has ever built. Captain will not leave without you. Gregory Hunt stepped closer. What do you need from us? If things go wrong, if they try to move you or hurt you, fight back. Do whatever you must to survive until we can get to you. Hunt nodded slowly. We have some ex-military here, some police officers. We can organize. Do it quietly, they are watching. Spoke urgently. Ambassador, we must leave. The guards will return soon. As they made their way back up, said, I have a question. This captain, will he truly attack the planet if my government refuses? Cole stopped and looked at the minister. Minister, let me be very clear. Captain is a patient man, a good man. But he has been given authority from Earth's government to use any force necessary to recover those colonists. If your emperor does not release them, yes, we'll attack. But that is insane. One ship against our entire fleet. That one ship could destroy your entire fleet without taking damage. Cole saw the disbelief on his face. I know how that sounds, but humanity has fought wars across a dozen star systems. We have faced enemies more advanced than your empire. We learned to build better, faster, stronger. The Vengeance represents our latest generation of warships. Your fleet represents what we built 40 years ago. Absorbed this information in silence. Finally, he said, My people do not deserve to die because our emperor made poor choices. No, they do not. That is why he gave a warning. That is why he broadcast what happened to the colonists. He wants your people to understand what is at stake. They reached the upper levels and parted ways. Cole returned to his quarters while went to find Emperor Thrace. In the council chamber, Thrace paced like a caged animal. 24 hours remain. The human ship has done nothing, no attacks, no threats beyond that first message. They are weak. Or patient, suggested. Enough, Thrace turned to face his commanders. I want that ship destroyed. Order the fleet to open fire. All vessels, maximum firepower. I want that human captain to understand what it means to threaten the Empire. Felt cold spread through his body. My lord, I must advise against this action. We do not know the full capabilities of that vessel. I know enough, it is one ship. We have 200, the numbers speak clearly. Numbers are not everything in warfare. Then what is? Thrace demanded. Technology, training, experience, listed them slowly. Things we may not have advantages in. You fear the humans. I respect what I do not understand. There is a difference. Thrace dismissed him with a gesture. Give the order, fire on that ship, destroy it. High Commander walked slowly to the communication station. Every instinct screamed that this was wrong, but he was a soldier. He followed orders. He opened the fleet channel. All ships, this is High Command. You are ordered to engage the Terran vessel. Fire at will. On the Vengeance, alarms chimed softly. Captain, the fleet is powering weapons to full capacity, Grant announced. Shields to maximum, ordered calmly. All hands brace for impact. 200 warships fired simultaneously. Plasma bolts streaked across space, blue-white trails of superheated gas. Missiles launched by the hundreds, their drives burning bright. The barrage was enough to destroy a small moon. It struck the Vengeance from every angle at once. The flared white as the shields absorbed the impact. Energy readings spiked. The ship shuddered once, a slight tremor felt through the deck. Then the screens cleared. The Vengeance hung in space, completely undamaged. Shield integrity read 97%. On the bridge, stood and walked to the tactical display. Response time. I want one clean shot. Target the military satellite in Sector 7. Sir, there are 3 moons behind that satellite in direct line, Moore warned. I know. Grant's hands moved across his console. Target locked, weapon charged. Fire. A single beam of coherent light punched through space. It struck the military satellite, passed through it as though it were not there, and continued. The first moon evaporated. The second shattered into fragments. The third developed a glowing canyon across its entire surface before the beam dispersed. The satellite was simply gone. No debris, no pieces, gone. 12 hours remained. The population watched the skis with growing fear. The human ship hung above them, a dark reminder of power they could not match. In homes across the capital, families argued about what should be done. Release the humans, defy them, flee the planet entirely. Emperor Thrace sat alone in his private chambers. He had dismissed his advisors after the demonstration. 3 moons destroyed with one shot. His finest weapons had not even scratched the human vessel. But he could not show weakness, could not admit error. To do so would mean losing everything he had built. A chime announced a visitor. Thrace considered ignoring it, then activated the door. High Commander entered, moving with military precision. My lord, we must discuss the situation. There is nothing to discuss, Thrace said. We will not surrender to human demands. Then what do you propose? We cannot fight them. The technology gap is too vast. We have something they want, 4,000 human lives. Thrace stood and paced. They claim to value all life. Very well, we will use that against them. How? Move the colonists, scatter them across different locations. If the humans attack, some will die in the chaos. Their precious captain will be responsible for killing his own people. Felt sick, my lord, that is madness. It will only prove we are monsters. It will prove we are strong. Thrace moved to his communication console. Order the detention center cleared. I want those humans moved within the hour. I will not give that order. Thrace turned slowly. What did you say? I will not order my soldiers to do this. It is wrong. Wrong, Thrace's voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. You forget your place, Commander. No, I remember it, straightened. I serve the people, I protect our honor. This path you walk leads only to destruction. Then you are relieved of command. Thrace reached for his personal communicator. Guards, arrest High Commander for treason. 2 royal guards entered immediately. They had been waiting outside, realized. Thrace had planned this. As the guards took him away, caught sight of Minister watching from the corridor. Their eyes met briefly. Scales showed signs of deep distress. Then he was gone. On the Vengeance, Captain received an alert. Sir, movement at the detention center, multiple transport vehicles. Leaned forward, they are moving the colonists. Appears so, 6 transports departing now, different directions. Track them all, I want to know exactly where each one goes. Opened a channel. Commander, report to the bridge. Minutes later arrived. He was shorter than compact and muscular, with scars on his hands from years of combat operations. "You called, Captain." "They are moving our people, splitting them up. We need to be ready to extract them on short notice." "My Marines are ready, just give the word." "Prepare boarding parties for each transport, full assault gear. If this goes wrong, we may need to pull them out under fire." Nodded and left to brief his teams. Watched the tactical display as the transports spread across the capital. They were trying to make rescue impossible. It might have worked against most species. It would not work against Earth. In the underground tunnel network beneath the capital, Gregory Hunt and 20 other ex-military colonists prepared themselves. Word had spread through the detention center before the came. Be ready to fight. The Earth ambassador's warning had been clear. When the guards ordered them into transports, Hunt went quietly. But he counted the guards, noted their weapons, watched their movements. They were professional but not expecting resistance from colonists they had beaten and starved for 3 months. Hunt sat near the back of the transport with 4 other men. Former soldiers, all of them. They did not speak, did not need to. They communicated with small gestures, eye contact, shared understanding born from years of training. The transport carried 200 colonists and 6 guards, poor ratio for prisoner control. They had made a mistake. The vehicle rumbled through the city. Hunt glanced at the guard nearest him, that was watching the passengers, but his weapon hung loosely on its strap. Another mistake. Hunt caught the eye of his companions, counted down with his fingers, 3, 2, 1. They moved as one unit. Hunt lunged for the nearest guard, driving his shoulder into his chest. The guard went down hard. Hunt grabbed the weapon as he fell, twisting it free. Around him, his team was doing the same. The colonists erupted into action. Some screamed, others scattered to the sides. A few brave ones joined the fight, grabbing guards who tried to raise their weapons. It was chaos and violence in a cramped space. Hunt fired once, stunning a guard who was aiming at civilians. Another colonist, a woman who had been a police officer, took down the last guard with a metal pipe she had hidden in her clothing. 20 seconds, 6 guards neutralized. "Everyone to the back," Hunt ordered. "Get down and stay down." He moved to the driver's compartment. The pilot was reaching for an alarm. Hunt pulled him from the seat, none too gently, and took the controls. The transport swerved, then straightened. "We have a vehicle," Hunt said to no one in particular, knowing someone was listening. 200 colonists heading to Government District." He looked at his improvised team. "Anyone know how to navigate this thing?" "I do," a young man pushed forward. "I drove similar vehicles before. The controls are standard." "Good, get us somewhere defensible. Anywhere but where they wanted us to go." Above the planet, watched the transport change direction. Sensor data showed weapons fire inside the vehicle, then the course deviation. "Grant, what am I seeing?" "One transport has broken from its designated route. It appears the colonists have taken control." A smile crossed his face. "Good for them, track that transport, keep me updated on its position." In the council chamber, a junior officer burst in. "My lord, one of the transports has been hijacked by the colonists. They are heading toward the government district." Thray stood so quickly his chair fell backward. "What? How is that possible?" "Unknown, my lord. We are attempting to re-establish control." "Send forces to intercept. I want those humans recaptured or killed." "Wait," Minister stepped forward. He had been silent during the meeting, watching and listening. "My lord, if you attack that transport, you will kill the very hostages you are trying to use as leverage. They are in our capital, moving toward restricted areas. They are scared people trying to survive." His voice grew stronger. "And you want to slaughter them in our streets? How will that look to our citizens?" "It will look like strength. It will look like murder," turned to address the other council members. "I have remained silent too long. We all have. This emperor has led us to disaster. He took innocent colonists, tortured them, let a child die, and now he wants to kill them rather than admit he was wrong." "Silence," Thrace roared. "No," stood his ground. "I will not be silent while you destroy everything our empire claimed to stand for." On the streets below, the hijacked transport raced through the capital. Gregory Hunt drove now, the young man beside him calling out directions. Behind them, 200 frightened but determined colonists held on. "Security forces closing in," the young man warned. 3 vehicles armed." Hunt checked the transport systems. We have limited weapons, mostly for riot control. Then we need to get somewhere they cannot follow us. Where? The young man pointed ahead. There, the government complex, heavy security, but if we can get inside one of the buildings, they will have to be careful about firing. Hunt made the decision in seconds. Everyone hold tight. He gunned the transport forward. Security barriers ahead dropped, trying to block their path. Hunt crashed through them. Alarms wailed. Police vehicles converged from side streets. The government complex loomed ahead. Tall buildings of white stone, beautiful and imposing. Hunt aimed for the largest one, a structure with massive doors currently standing open. Now would be a good time for that captain to show up, Hunt muttered. As if in answer, the sky above the city darkened, not with clouds, with ships. 6 massive vessels appeared, descending through the atmosphere. They were identical to the Vengeance, each one a mountain of metal and power. They spread out across the capital, taking positions over military installations. The security forces stopped their pursuit. Every eye turned skyward. On the Vengeance stood at the tactical display. Contact Admiral Price. Tell her the fleet is in position. Yes, sir. Grant paused. Sir, the colonists in that transport are about to enter a government building. Let them, Commander, take your teams down. Extract those colonists. Full defensive posture. Understood. 8 launched from the Vengeance. They screamed through the atmosphere, ignoring air traffic control, ignoring warning shots from ground batteries. Nothing could touch them. Hunt crashed the transport through the doors of the government building. The vehicle skidded to a halt in a large entrance hall. Workers fled in all directions. Security guards took positions but did not fire, confused by the situation. Everyone out, Hunt ordered. Form a perimeter, use anything you can find for cover. The colonists poured out. Some grabbed furniture. Others found abandoned weapons from security guards who had fled. They formed a rough defensive circle in the center of the hall. Then the windows above shattered. 8 hovered outside, massive and intimidating. Doors opened and Terran Marines descended on cables, moving with practiced precision. They wore powered armor, carried weapons that made guns look like toys. Commander was first through the window. He hit the ground, assessed the situation in one glance, and moved to Gregory Hunt. Sir, are you in command here? Hunt almost laughed. Command is a strong word. I'm just trying to keep people alive. Understood. Marines, defensive perimeter. We are holding this position until extraction orders come. The Terran soldiers moved with mechanical efficiency. In seconds, they had established a secure position. Hunt looked at the nearest Marine. The man's armor bore scars from past battles. His weapon was ready but not aimed at anyone specifically. Professional, competent, everything Hunt remembered from his own military days. Good to see you, Hunt said. The Marine's helmet speaker crackled. Good to see you too, sir. Let us get you home. Outside, forces gathered, but they did not attack. They simply watched as human power descended on their capital. In his chambers, Emperor Thrace watched the displays with growing horror. 7 human dreadnoughts, Marines on his streets, colonists protected in his own government building. He had lost. He knew it now. The question was whether he would accept that loss with dignity or drag his empire down with him. His hand moved toward a control panel, toward a button that would activate explosives in the main detention center. The remaining 3,800 colonists were still there. If he could not win, at least he could make the humans pay. But before he could press it, the door opened. Soldiers entered, weapons raised. Leading them was High Commander, freed from his cell by loyal troops. 6 hours remained on the ultimatum. Captain stood in the government building, surrounded by 200 rescued colonists. They looked at him with expressions ranging from relief to exhaustion to hope. Many were injured. All were thin from months of poor food. Gregory Hunt approached and extended his hand. Captain, I presume. Shook it firmly. Captain Hunt, well done with that transport. You bought us time. Just did what needed doing. Hunt gestured to the colonists around them. These people need medical attention, real food, and word that their families back home know they are alive. All of that will happen. Right now, we need to secure the remaining colonists. Activated his communicator. Commander, status of the detention center. His voice came through clear. Sir, we have surveillance on the facility. 3,800 colonists still inside. Guards have orders to hold position but not engage. The situation is tense. Maintain watch. I want to know immediately if anything changes. In the council chamber, High Commander addressed the remaining ministers. Emperor Thrace sat in chains, silent and glaring. The guards who had arrested him now took orders from. Ministers, we face a choice, said. We can continue this path to destruction or we can end it now, release the colonists, make peace with Earth. Minister spoke up. I support this. We have lost. Continuing will only cost more lives. Lost, one older minister stood angrily. We are the Empire. We do not lose to humans. We already have, gestured to displays showing the 7 human dreadnoughts positioned across the capital. Look at them. Each one could level this city. They have not fired because they are giving us a chance to surrender with dignity. Dignity? The old minister laughed bitterly. There is no dignity in surrender. There is more dignity in survival than in pointless death. Walked to the window, looking out at the city. I have served this empire my entire life. I love our people, our culture, our history, but I love them too much to see them destroyed because one emperor made terrible choices. Another minister spoke, her voice uncertain. If we release the colonists, what guarantee do we have that Earth will not attack anyway? I can answer that. Ambassador Cole entered the chamber. He had been waiting outside, along with several Terran Marines who now stood guard. Earth has no desire for conquest. We came for our people, nothing more. Then why the show of force? The old minister demanded. 7 dreadnoughts, Marines in our streets. Because you took our people, hurt them, killed a child. Cole's voice was hard. You forced our hand, but even now we offer peace. Release the colonists unharmed and we leave your world as we found it. And if we refuse? Cole met his eyes. Then Captain will do what he must to recover our people, and your empire will not survive what comes next. The ministers began arguing among themselves. Some wanted to fight. Others saw the futility. Let them talk, let them work through their fear and pride. Finally, he raised his hand for silence. We vote, all in favor of releasing the colonists immediately. 7 hands went up, 8 remained down. Those opposed. 8 hands rose, 7 stayed down. Atai looked at the ministers at their divided faces. Then he made his decision. As acting military commander during this crisis, I am invoking emergency authority. The colonists will be released immediately. You cannot do that, the old minister shouted. I just did, turned to his guards. Send word to the detention center. Release all human colonists into the custody of the Terran Marines. Full cooperation. Anyone who interferes will answer to me personally. The old minister stood. This is illegal. You have no authority. I have the authority of necessity, faced him calmly. If you wish to file charges against me later, you may do so, assuming there is a later, which there will not be if we continue on our current path. At the detention center, the guards received their orders with mixed reactions. Some were relieved, others felt betrayed, but they followed commands, opening the gates and allowing Terran Marines to enter. Commander led his teams through the facility. They moved quickly but carefully, checking each cell, each corridor. The colonists emerged slowly at first, afraid this might be a trick. Then they saw the human armor, heard their own language, and hope bloomed. A woman carrying a small child approached. Are you real? Are you really here to take us home? Removed his helmet so she could see his face. Yes, ma'am, we are here. You are safe now. She began crying. Others joined her. Relief and joy and grief mixing together, 3 months of fear ending in one moment. But not everyone was relieved. In a control room deep in the facility, an officer watched the rescue with growing anger. His name was, and he had been personally appointed by Emperor Thrace. He had followed every order, including the ones that hurt the colonists. If the humans took them now, those actions would be exposed. He would be held accountable. Looked at the control panel before him. The facility had been built on an old military bunker. That bunker had self-destruct charges, originally installed in case the base was ever captured by enemies. Those charges were still active. He could end this, kill the colonists and the Terran Marines in one move. It would be blamed on the humans on their clumsy rescue attempt. His hand moved to the activation switch. On the Vengeance, Lieutenant Grant suddenly shouted, Captain, energy spike at the detention center. It is massive. His blood turned cold. What kind of spike? Explosive, sir. They are going to blow the facility. Time to detonation. 90 seconds. Opened all channels. Commander, evacuate immediately. The facility is rigged to explode. In the detention center, heard the warning and reacted instantly. All teams, emergency extraction. Move, move, move. His Marines began herding colonists toward the exits, but there were 3,800 people. Most were weak. Many were injured. 90 seconds was not enough time. Made a decision. Vengeance, we need emergency transport, direct beam from our position. Impossible, Moore's voice came back. Too many people, too much mass. The transporters cannot handle that volume. Then we do it in stages. Start with the children and injured. The first transport beam activated. 50 colonists vanished, reappearing in the Vengeance's cargo bay. Then another 50, and another. 60 seconds, Grant reported. Ran through the facility, pushing people toward the transport zones. His Marines did the same, some carrying colonists who could not walk fast enough. Gregory Hunt appeared beside. I am staying until the end. Make sure everyone else gets out first. No arguments, agreed. They worked together, counting heads, shoving people into transport range. 40 seconds. Another batch disappeared, then another, but there were still hundreds left. Watched from the bridge, calculating rapidly. More, can we extend the transport field? Not without risking everyone inside it. The beam could destabilize. Do it anyway. Captain, if this goes wrong, we could kill them. If we do nothing, they die for certain. Extend the field. Maximum range. Moore's hands flew across her controls. The transport beam widened, straining against its limits. Power systems screamed in protest, but it worked. 100 colonists vanished at once. 20 seconds, and Hunt stood in an almost empty facility. Just a dozen people left. One more transport cycle. 10 seconds. The last group disappeared, including and Hunt. They materialized on the Vengeance just as the explosion tore through the underground bunker. The shockwave rocked the surrounding area. Buildings collapsed. Streets cracked. And where the detention center had stood, there was now only a crater. Gripped his command chair. Casualties. Checking. Grant worked his console frantically. Then he looked up, face showing disbelief. None, sir. We got them all. Silence filled the bridge for 3 heartbeats. Then someone started clapping. Others joined. Soon the entire crew was applauding, cheering, celebrating the impossible rescue. Allowed himself a small smile. Then he opened a channel to the planet. High Commander, I trust you saw what just happened. I did, Captain. His voice was heavy. One of our officers acted without authorization. He has been arrested. More than arrested, I hope. He will face justice, I promise you that. Good, stood. All colonists are now aboard my vessels. We have what we came for. However, there is still the matter of what your empire did to these people. I understand. What are your terms? I will discuss that with you in person. You and Minister will board the Vengeance in 1 hour. Come alone. Come unarmed. We have much to talk about. We will be there. Closed the channel. Around him, his crew was still celebrating. Commander arrived on the bridge, his armor scorched and dented but intact. That was too close, said. But it worked, clasped his shoulder. You and your Marines did outstanding work. Just following your crazy plan, sir. Crazy plans are the only kind worth following. In the cargo bays below, colonists reunited with the 200 who had been rescued earlier. Families found each other. Friends embraced. Medical teams worked frantically to treat injuries. And slowly the reality sank in. They were safe. After 3 months of hell, they were finally safe. Gregory Hunt found the woman who had asked if the Marines were real. Her child was asleep in her arms now, finally peaceful. You asked if we were real, he said gently. Did you get your answer? She nodded, tears streaming down her face. Thank you for coming back for us. That is what Earth does, Hunt replied. We never leave our people behind. On the planet's surface, prepared to board a shuttle to the human ship, would accompany him. They both knew this meeting would determine the future of the Empire. High Commander and Minister stood in the shuttle bay of the TDS Vengeance, surrounded by human Marines. The ship's interior was clean and efficient, every surface speaking of advanced technology and military precision. It made the finest vessels look crude by comparison. Captain arrived, accompanied by Commander, studied the two carefully, stood with military bearing despite knowing he was at the mercy of his former enemy, looked nervous but determined. Both had come unarmed as requested. "High Commander, Minister, thank you for coming," gestured toward a corridor. "Follow me." They walked through the ship's passages. They passed looked exhausted but determined. Many had bandages, some limped. All were being treated by human medical staff who worked with calm efficiency. "Those are your colonists?" asked. "Yes, 47 are in critical condition. Another 300 have serious injuries, all from your detention centers." Did not look at thee as he spoke. "One child died. Amy was her name. She was 6 years old. She had an infection that could have been cured with basic antibiotics. Your staff did nothing." Closed his eyes. "I am so sorry." "Sorry does not bring her back." They reached a conference room. Inside, several humans waited. Admiral Price, who had arrived from Earth, Ambassador Cole, Dr. Sarah Mitchell, who looked exhausted from treating patients, and Gregory Hunt, representing the colonists. Everyone sat, the on one side, the humans on the other. "Let us be clear about the situation," began. "Your empire took our people, tortured them, allowed a child to die, then attempted to murder all of them rather than admit fault. These are facts." "They are," said quietly, "and I take responsibility for failing to stop it sooner." "You are not the emperor." "No, but I am the military commander. I should have acted earlier. I did not, and people suffered because of my cowardice." Studied him for a long moment. "At least you admit it. That is more than most would do." Admiral Price leaned forward. She was older than with hair and eyes that had seen too many wars. "High Commander, Earth's government has authorized me to negotiate terms. Before we begin, I need to know, is Emperor Thrace still in power?" "No," answered. "He has been removed from authority. He will face trial for his crimes." "Good, then we can discuss the future." "What do you want from us?" asked. "Territory, resources, reparations." "None of those things." Price opened a data pad. "Earth has 3 requirements. First, the Empire will establish formal first contact protocols. You will approach new species with respect, not force. You will value life over expansion." Nodded slowly. "We can agree to that." "Second, you will open your borders to independent observers. Representatives from the Galactic Assembly will monitor your compliance with agreed standards." "That is asking us to surrender our sovereignty." "No, it is asking you to prove you are trustworthy. After what you did, you have earned suspicion. This is how you rebuild trust." "Spoke up, I support this. We need accountability." "Third," Price continued, "you will work with Earth to combat slavery and trafficking in this sector. We have intelligence suggesting several criminal organizations operate near your borders. Some may have connections to your government." "I know nothing of this," said. "Then investigate, find the truth, and help us stop it." Price closed the data pad. "These are our terms, accept them, and we leave your world in peace. Your government remains yours, your people remain free. We want partnership, not conquest." Looked at, silent communication passed between them. Finally said, "We accept your terms." Good stood. "Now for the unofficial part, the part that is not in any treaty but needs to be said." He walked to and activated it. Images appeared. Citizens gathered in streets, protests, demonstrations, people demanding change. "Your population is divided," said. "Some support what you did, others are horrified. This division will tear your empire apart unless you address it." "What do you suggest?" asked. "Truth, tell your people everything. Show them what was done to our colonists. Let them see the evidence. Then let them decide what kind of empire they want to be." "That could destroy us." "Lying will definitely destroy you." Turn to face them. "Earth has fought wars against empires that chose cruelty over justice. They all fell eventually. You have a chance to be different, to learn, to grow. Do not waste it." Dr. Mitchell spoke for the first time. Her voice was tired but firm. "I have treated every one of your victims. I have held crying children. I have set broken bones that healed wrong because no one cared enough to help. I have watched grown adults flinch at loud noises because they associate sound with pain. You want to know what you should do? Start by never forgetting what you did. Remember every face, every name, every death. Let that memory guide every decision you make going forward." Silence filled the room. Mitchell's words hung in the air like an accusation and a challenge both. Finally spoke, We will remember, I promise you that. Promises are easy, Gregory Hunt said. He had been quiet until now. Actions matter more. You want to prove you have changed? Prove it with deeds, not words. What would you have us do? Asked. Build something better. Create systems that prevent this from happening again. Train your people to value all life. And when you meet other species in the future, remember what happened here. Remember that strength without wisdom is just brutality. Nodded. Well said, Captain Hunt. He turned back to you have your terms, you have your advice. Now it is up to you. The Vengeance and her sister ships will remain in orbit for 72 hours. That gives you time to begin implementing changes. After that, we leave, but Earth will be watching. The Galactic Assembly will be watching. Do not make us return. We understand, said. Then we are done here, gestured to the door. A shuttle will return you to the surface. As the stood to leave, paused. Captain, may I ask a question? Go ahead. Why show mercy when you could have destroyed us? Your ships could have leveled our cities, killed millions. No one would have blamed you. Was quiet for several seconds. When he spoke, his voice was soft but clear. Because that is not who we are. Earth has seen too much war, too much death. We know what violence costs. Yes, we could have destroyed your empire. But then what? We would have become the monsters we claim to oppose. We would have proven that might makes right, that the strong can do whatever they want to the weak. He looked directly at. Every child on Earth grows up learning one fundamental truth. Power without restraint is tyranny. We have power, but we also have principles. Those principles say that even when we are angry, even when we have been wronged, we do not forget our humanity. We fight when we must. We show mercy when we can. And we always protect the innocent. Nodded slowly. I hope my people learn that lesson. So do I. The left, Price, and the others remained in the conference room. Do you think they will keep their word? Asked. Some will, Price said. Others will resist, but that is their problem to solve, not ours. What about the colonists? Hunt asked. What happens to them now? Smiled, his first real smile in days. They complete their journey. We have already identified 3 suitable worlds in unclaimed space, far from territory, far from anyone who might threaten them. They can build their colony in peace. After everything they went through, they still want to go. Most of them, yes, they say they will not let take their dream away. Smile widened. That is the human spirit. We get knocked down, we get back up, we keep going. Over the next 72 hours, the Empire began to change. Appeared on every broadcast channel showing the evidence of what had been done. Some citizens refused to believe it. Others wept. But slowly understanding spread. Emperor Thrace was put on trial. The proceedings were broadcast live. He showed no remorse, claiming everything he did was for the Empire's glory. The judges, appointed by and the council, found him guilty of crimes against sapient beings. He was executed publicly, a message to any future leaders who might follow his path. New laws were passed, protection for prisoners, oversight committees, training programs for military and police. It was not enough to erase what had happened, but it was a start. On the Vengeance, the colonists prepared for departure. They had been treated, fed, given new clothes and supplies. Many had taken time to record messages thanking Captain and his crew. Visited the cargo bay, where Gregory Hunt was organizing supplies for the journey ahead. Captain Hunt greeted him, come to see us off. Something like that, handed him a data pad. Coordinates to the new colony world, star charts, survey data, everything you need. Hunt took it gratefully. We owe you our lives. You owe me nothing. You fought for yourselves, took that transport, held out until we could reach you. You saved yourselves as much as we saved you. Maybe, but we could not have done it without you coming for us. That is what Earth does. We take care of our own, extended his hand. Good luck, Captain Hunt. Build something worth remembering. Hunt shook his hand firmly. We will, and we will name the first city after you. Please do not. Hunt laughed. Too late, already voted on it. City has a nice sound. I am going to regret this, am I not? Probably. The colony ships departed the Vengeance, 6 civilian vessels that had been waiting at the edge of the system. They were escorted by 2 Terran destroyers who would see them safely to their new home. The colonists waved from the viewports as they left. Some cried, others cheered. All of them were finally free. Watched them go from the bridge. Around him, his crew began preparing for their own departure. Where to now, Captain? Lieutenant Grant asked. Earth, I suspect Admiral Price will want a full report, then probably more patrols. There are always more people who need help. The life of a hero, commented from nearby. We are not heroes, we are just people doing our jobs. With respect, sir, I disagree. What we did here mattered. We saved 4,000 lives, changed an entire empire. That is heroic. Considered this? Maybe, but the real heroes are the ones who survived, who kept their humanity despite everything done to them, who still chose to pursue their dreams after this nightmare. They are the ones who should be remembered. The Vengeance and her sister ships broke orbit together, 7 massive dreadnoughts rising through the atmosphere, leaving Prime behind. On the surface, citizens watched them go, some with relief, others with respect, all with the knowledge that humanity was not to be underestimated. As the ships entered faster-than-light travel, made one final log entry. Captain's log, final entry for this mission. 4,000 colonists recovered, all surviving members treated and en route to new colony world. Empire has agreed to terms and begun implementing reforms. Mission successful. He paused, considering his next words carefully. Personal note, today we proved something important, that strength and mercy can coexist, that power should be used to protect, not destroy, that even in our darkest moments, humanity can choose the harder right over the easier wrong. I am proud of my crew, proud of those colonists who fought back, proud of the Lycan who found the courage to stand against their own government. This is not the last time we will face such choices. Other empires will test us. Other situations will demand we balance justice with compassion. But today showed me that we are capable of meeting those challenges, not with arrogance, not with cruelty, but with the principles that define us as human beings. He closed the log and leaned back in his chair. Outside, the stars streamed past as they traveled home. On Prime, High Commander stood in the new council chamber. The old one had been sealed, a reminder of past failures. This room was smaller, simpler, designed for work rather than displays of power. We have much to rebuild, he told the assembled ministers. Trust, honor our reputation across the galaxy. It will take years, maybe generations. But we will do it, said from beside him. We will become better. Yes, agreed. We will become better because that is what the humans showed us. That no matter how far you fall, you can choose to rise again, not as conquerors, as protectors, as partners. He looked out the window at the stars where the human ships had been. They were gone now, but their lesson remained. Humanity's worst fear was never an enemy too strong to defeat. It was becoming the very thing they fought against. And by choosing mercy over vengeance, they had proven they would never become that thing. The Empire had learned that lesson the hard way. They would not forget it. Across the galaxy, on ships and stations and worlds, people heard the story of what happened at Prime. How one human ship faced down an entire empire. How humanity saved its people without destroying those who threatened them. How Earth offered partnership instead of conquest. Some species dismissed it as propaganda. Others took note, adding humanity to the list of powers not to be crossed carelessly. But a few, the wise ones, understood the real message. Earth had arrived on the galactic stage, and they had announced themselves not with threats but with principles, not with cruelty but with justice, not with domination but with protection. The Empire had feared a Terran Dreadnought looming over their capital. They had been right to fear, but not because of its weapons, because of what it represented. The idea that power comes with responsibility, that strength should protect the weak, that mercy is not weakness but the highest form of strength. That was humanity's gift to the galaxy, and it was a gift that would echo through the ages. "Are you afraid?" asked. Terrified, admitted, but we have no choice, we face what we have done. At least we face it together. The shuttle lifted off, heading toward the massive dreadnought above. Behind them, the capital tried to process what had happened. Their emperor was in chains, their military defeated without a real battle, and humanity had proven stronger than anyone imagined. The question now was what humanity would do with that strength. "Step away from that panel," said quietly. Thrace looked at the gun pointed at his chest, at the soldiers who no longer followed his orders, at the end of everything he had built. "This is treason," he whispered. "No," replied, "this is survival." Silence filled the fleet. On every ship, crews stared at their sensors, unable to process what they had just seen. One shot, 3 moons, and the human ship had barely moved. opened a channel to the planet, his voice broadcast to every citizen. "That was a warning. Your fleet fired on my ship. We could destroy every vessel around us without effort. But we are not here to wage war. We are here to recover our people. You have 24 hours remaining. Use them wisely." The transmission ended, returned to his command chair and waited. In the council chamber, Minister said quietly, "Still think they are weak, my lord." "The clock is ticking." He pressed a button on his chair. "Engineering, this is the captain. Begin Phase 1. Deep in the Vengeance's core, systems that had been dormant hummed to life. Weapon systems calibrated. Targeting computers ran final calculations. And in orbit, the great ship that had been so still finally moved, rotating slowly to bring its full arsenal to bear on the world below. On the planet's surface, in homes and offices across the capital city, watched the broadcasts with growing horror. Some turned away. Others stared, unable to believe what they were seeing. And in the council chamber, Emperor Thrace watched his advisors begin to argue among themselves, watched support for his decision start to crack. High Commander said nothing. He simply watched the human ship above and wondered what would happen when those 48 hours ran out.